There are functions we can use to install packages as well as to learn about installed packages. Most of these tasks are made easy in tabs within RStudio, but even our users who do not use RStudio, are there any of those left? They can use these functions too. In fact, when you use RStudio to perform these tasks, it is simply calling these functions behind the scenes. Let's begin by looking at the packages that are in base R. So I'm going to save to an object that I called base R packages based upon the installed.packages function, which is built into base R, and I'm putting as priority base. When I click on this in my environment, it allows me to take a look at the packages that are in base R, and there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 packages are installed when you install base R. Now note the first one is base. That's what you might think of for base R. But when you install base R, the R core team realizes that that's not going to be enough for hardly anyone, and so they take the most essential kind of packages, for instance, to be able to make graphs. There's a graphics package. To be able to calculate statistics, there's 2 statistics packages, stats and stats4. Those are all loaded and installed when you install base R. If you look here, you see that it provides you various pieces of information about each of those packages, most of which you will not need, but it's there if you do need it. There's also a list of packages that the R core team recommends that everyone install, so you may want to consider doing that. I usually wait until I need it, but it's good to know that those are there, and it's good to check this list before looking for any other kind of package, because these are considered sort of one step removed from base R packages. Here are the packages, and you notice it again, it's not a lot, a dozen, 14, 15 or so that they recommend that you have on your system. And as I look over that list, I see that I have pretty much all of these. I've needed just about all of them from time to time. So if anyone wanted to go and say, I'm going to install all of these right now since they're recommended, I certainly would have no problem with that. I think that would be a reasonable thing to do. Let's take a look at all the packages that are installed on my system. Everyone who does this, if you're following along, you're going to have a different list. You can see that I've been using R for quite some time, and I have a lot of packages installed on my system. Some of these packages are because of you, my students. You will use packages in your notebooks, and I need to review those notebooks, so I have to install those too, which of course is no problem at all. The available packages function will provide a current list of the CRAN package repository. So if I now look at potential packages, I can see all the packages. I don't usually use this. Why not? Because if I go to the website, I can get a whole lot more information. Looking at just the names of the packages doesn't do a lot for me. I'd rather go to the CRAN and read about those packages. Now, what if we want to install a package? One of the packages that's available that I find very useful, and you probably will too, is called Psych. It's for doing statistics in psychology. I'm going to go ahead and use the install.packages function, which is a function that will install a package for us. Now, if I look in the console, it says it was successfully unpacked and the sums checked. What that means when it says sums checked is after it downloaded, it made sure that everything was downloaded correctly, and it was, and it successfully unpacked it. I get a warning message here. RTools is required to build R packages but is not currently installed. Warning messages are not error messages. What might this mean? Well, first, let's show you an easier way to install packages, and that is with the Packages tab in RStudio. Then we'll talk about the error message. So in the Packages tab, there's an Install button available. And if I had clicked on Psych or typed in Psych, everything that starts with that will show up. I can pick it, and then I can install. Now there's a button here that says Install Dependencies. What does that mean? Some packages require other packages to be installed because they use those. This is like a nesting. That is, someone who wrote a package used a package, and the person who wrote that package may have used a package, and the person who wrote that package may have used a package. By clicking on Install Dependencies, this means all the packages that were used all the way down the line will also be installed on your system so that you can use Psych. If we unclick that, the only functions available to us are the functions that are written in Psych that did not require or call on other packages outside of base R. So it's important to keep that Install Dependencies clicked. I don't see a need to ever unclick that. When I click Install, it will now install packages, and notice when it's installing packages using the same command we just used. But the Packages tab also allows us to come down and see what has been installed. This is the easiest way to see what's installed on your system, and I can check, these are in alphabetical order, I can check to see if the Psych package has been installed, and it has been. So why the warning message? This package contains some information that is what we refer to as binary, and that information needs to be compiled. RTools is a separate program that can actually compile information in your R system that has not been compiled. If this package had not appeared here, I would have been concerned that, in fact, it was not compiled, and I might need to look into using RTools. However, almost all the time when you get this message, it just means there's something in that package. It might be some extra documentation or something. And so I'm not going to worry about it because I see this Psych here available to me. But if you ever do reach a point where you get that warning message and you look for the package and it's not there, or if something in the package you need doesn't seem to be working right, you can simply do a web search on RTools and it will walk you through the process. But note, it's a completely separate program. It's not part of R, it's not part of RStudio. It's just a program for compiling packages that RStudio has already tried to compile, and most of the time will be successful in doing. So I'm not going to do anything about that warning message other than make it go away here in my notebook. So now that we've installed the Psych package, all the functions are available to us in that package. We'll learn about those in our next video.